Just a good team win. Probably I told the guys we've had, maybe played better in certain games this year, and maybe had what would be considered outside, bigger wins, in terms of like VCU, et cetera. But that was our best team win of the year, in terms of the amount of guys we had contribute, what we got from the bench, their ability to come in and build on a really good week of practice and then translate that practice to the floor. I thought Amari, last 3 days in practice was our best player. And then he was our best player today, out there. I thought he was fantastic on both ends of the floor. And, so it's good to see him, Max, Dylan, give us, minutes off the bench. And I thought that was huge. And had a number of guys step up and play well. We did a good job on Thomas. He's hard to guard. He had 8 assists first half. Second half, we held him to 3 points and 1 assist. He had 5 and 8 in the first half. Thought we took better care of the ball in the second half. We had 7 turnovers at halftime, 2 until the last minute. We turned it over there twice in the final minute when I subbed. But overall, really good team performance, a lot to build on. And now it's about, we talked about with the group, it's kind of like a new season. We had the break, an 8-day window, get that off and kind of reset, recharge, refill our cups, and then just approach this, 5 games, 14 days, brand new season. Game 1 is in the books, and now we got to get back to work, get better, and get ready for a really tough road test at Davidson.
Coach, were you kind of worried after the time off how they come out? Because you came out with a lot of jump and energy. Yeah,
I think you're always worried. I think, I think ZB gave me the stat that, teams coming off a bye were 3-10. And in the A10, I didn't know that stat. ZB would be nerdy enough to look that up, but so I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he told me. So you're concerned, but I really felt like the break for us, the bye came at a good time. I thought we were really tired. I thought we were tired more mentally than physically. We'd expended a lot of energy. We were frustrated because we had lost a lot of close games. Had chances to win and just couldn't come through, and we were a little bit beat up physically, I think more beat up mentally. And it was a good chance for us to go back, really fill our cups back up. And I thought, you never know you're going to come out, but felt like we were going to come out and be ready to play. And I thought the guys had good energy in practice the last few days, and it was good to see it translate.
Gibson said you didn't even look at a basketball for 4 or 5 days. Is that kind of what you wanted, then just
get
away?
Yeah, just get away. I mean, whatever you need to – because we're going so long. I mean that's that stretch of we played starting with George Washington. We played 7 games. I think 6 were quad 2 games out of 7. Right in the dog days of the season. Where it feels like it's going forever. And we knew like that 7 games. I think I said it before it. Would decide kind of what we were playing for once we got to bye week. And we knocked ourselves out of the mix of a regular season championship. We lost, 5 of those 7. But we're still in the mix to play for a lot, and including, a double bye, and more importantly, just playing to try to make sure that we're, ready and playing our best basketball going to DC. But, those guys getting away, I didn't want them to be in the gym. Just get away from basketball for 2-3 days, rest your bodies, rest your minds, do what it is that fills your cup back up. Everybody's got different stuff that fills their cup up, and but come back and let's pour energy into this stretch run, these last 5 games.
Do you think there's anything in particular that got to Amari in the last few days of practice and then carry over to the game, or did you see?
No, I saw. He practiced great, but Amari does that. The thing for Amari, I just told him in the locker room. I said, now the trick for you is this UMass followed by St. Joe's, where you come in and you look like you're a turnstile out there defensively and you can't play, and or can you be consistent? Can this be who you are? The reality is Amari's talent is immense. He's a young kid that's trying to figure out how to compete consistently. I'll say this, his growth in terms of his attention to detail, his competitiveness is night and day from where it was in June. But when you start at 0, it's hard to get to 100. It's a process to get to 100. But he's grown as much as any player we have. He just has so much to grow. So, but you could see last 3 days in practice he was our best player. Now he's had pockets of that. When he's turned up and playing well, because he's our most talented guy. He's such a big physical guard. He's usually our best player. And, I mentioned it when we lost to GW, but last couple of days, Blue beat Gray in our scrimmages. And that's Amari, that's Dylan, that's Max, that's Killian, and then, KT and Isaac split those other minutes, with that group. And they went against our starters, and in the last 2 days, they just beat them both times. Both times we went up and down the floor in flow scrimmage and money time. And Amari was the best player for Blue, carried them, and Max and Dylan played really well. So that was part of the reason I went to those guys earlier, because in practice, that's how it works. Everybody, if you're not inside, like, people have all these variances about just try things in the game. Why doesn't he try him? Like, you earn your opportunities in practice. That's how you actually earn the opportunity to get in the game, by how you practice. And then you earn your opportunity to continue to play in the game by being productive inside it, impactful and efficient to winning, right? Being an efficient player and being impactful to winning. So, but you earn your opportunities in practice. Nobody can practice bad and just throw them into a game and say, well, I'll just give it a shot. Why not? That's never going to happen. So those guys, their practice, I knew, I was like, I told them, I said, we're going to go to you guys early. All you guys are going to get in the first, here 10 minutes of the game. Be ready. You guys have earned it. And I thought they came in, and that was, I thought Amari, on a night where we had some guys play well, I thought he was our best player. If you look at both ends of the floor, he was fantastic for us offensively and defensively.
Amari admitted, though, that he knows he has to be more consistent. So he knows what that's missing.
Yeah.
So how do you, when you're aware of it, how do you get him to do that?
Yeah. You guys have kids, right? So them being aware of something and being able to actually do what they're aware of is the challenge, right? I think this with Amari, he's got an unbelievable heart. He's got an unbelievable heart. Like, he cares about people. He cares about the right things. At his core, he's a sweet kid. He has got to figure out the consistency piece, because, for us, like, that takes our team to a whole different level. When he's able to play the way he played today, like, our team looks different, and it looks different even offensively to have somebody out there that can play. He changes us, makes it look more like what we've had at Indiana State or LMU, where you got, four guys around a big. It gets the 5 on Robbie, gives Robbie coverage. And Robbie had 22 tonight, but, he didn't shoot it great, but he had a bunch of great looks. And if Robbie shoots it well, he finishes with 30 plus. And part of that was because they had to guard Amari. And, so there was a lot there. But I think the biggest thing with Amari is you just keep trying to hammer into him is coming in. And that is the hardest thing in life for any person or organization, or to me, is consistent high-level performance. Like, that's why people will pay any amount of money for that in whatever profession you're in, right? I mean, if you can be consistently excellent, the level of talent and character and commitment and discipline, I mean, that is the hardest thing in life to accomplish for any person. So you keep pouring into him, though, and you challenge him, and you trust that because he's got so much talent and he does care. He doesn't, not one of those kids that doesn't care. He cares about his teammates. He cares about people. He's got, like I said, he's got a heart of gold. That eventually that light bulb's going to come on, and he's going to start playing that way consistently. And if and when he does, our basketball team will take a huge jump, because that is a lot of what we're missing offensively is what he brings to the table.
Were you aware of Gibson's situation, that they hadn't had a double-double and needed one?
Yeah, I was amazed that in all those years he's not been able to get one double-double. I was actually shocked. Tate told me that, and I was like, 24 years, and like he has not been able to get one double-double. I mean, but I was proud of him. He really got in the glass. He had some tough rebounds too. I mean, some contested, physical rebounds, traffic rebounds. He's been playing, we've talked about this a lot, a really good floor game. He's doing a lot of things outside of shooting the basketball. I know people get caught up with Gibb, whether he's making shots or not. He's 5 for 14 from 3. He got great looks, though. Like he took good shots for the most part. But he's doing a lot of good things defensively on the glass. He's fighting. His floor game allows us to play him through his shooting ebbs and flows, because he's guarding, he's rebounding, he's trying to make the right plays for his teammates. Actually got a really good assist in transition. A throwback for a wide open three, which was awesome. So it's good to see him. He just continues to pour himself into the team, and was happy to see him get across that. I was, we were going to pull those guys with 2 minutes to go anyway, but was glad to see him get the double, and that's another in a litany of things he's accomplished this year. One more notch.
So you would have kept him out there?
I would not have kept him out there if he can't get 10 rebounds in 38 minutes. That would be no. Those guys were coming out, but I was glad to see him go and snatch it and grab it. He was aware because Tate said something in the huddle. We had 9 or whatever, and Tate's like, you got 9. He's looked up, and so I knew he was going to go try to get a 10th, and he did.
Zero offense. Go ahead.
I know you talk a lot about how three-point shooting is what the defense gives you, but for a while there, Gibson had just come off a stretch of 7 threes per game. The last 2 games, he's been in double digits. Has there been anything that's and he's raised his percentage while also raising the volume? Has there been anything to that, or is it again just the defense giving it?
I think he's hunting some threes. The majority of what we run when we run a set is to get him stuff. We do most of the ATOs and stuff like that are designed to get him and try to get him in situations to do stuff that he does well, because he can sometimes in the flow doesn't get it as much, doesn't handle the ball as much as Swope and those guys, Robbie. But no, I think today, we knew going in. I told the team, and when we were in pop quiz this morning, we were going to shoot. I thought we would shoot 30+ threes just because of the way they're going to guard us. We would make them or miss them, but they're going to really shrink drives and be low in their triangles and try to. You have to get the ball off the ball on time. They flood drives. They're really good at when the ball touches the paint, they flood the paint, and we were going to get some drive and kick, spray threes, and I knew there'd be a high volume today because of what the defense, how they're going to guard us, and I think every game, we talked about that a lot of. Offense, if you boil it down, people, I don't hunt threes, we hunt the rim. And if once you and the defense make the low man engage and play, and once that low man has to make a decision, then everything opens from there. The whole point of offense is to engage the low man somehow. And there's 4 or 5 ways to do that. But once you do that, and the way they were going to flood the paint on those drives, that was going to be the spray out threes. But it's good to see him. I want him, if he can shoot, 15 threes a game, that's going to be good for us. I don't ever want him, hesitant about taking them. He's doing a great job of moving. He's been more purposeful with his movement. I think that's one thing in the system as you go. We talk a lot about corporate knowledge. I hate it for Gib, even though, he can't get a 9th year. But, having him 1 year, how much better he'd be in terms of understanding the movement, starting with what he's starting with, coming in next season and being able to build on his ability, because he's just got better and better at understanding kind of how to leverage his gravity inside of the system.
Someone walking out said they thought that they looked it up, that this was the only, I think, single-digit teams that have had 0 offensive rebounds in a game.
Yeah.
Had to be nice to not get on the team about offensive rebounding by the opponent. Talk about how unusual that is.
I participated in the game. I think it's the only game, I believe, in Kent Palm history. At least we know that neither team had an offensive rebound. When we played Evansville my first year, it was one of the worst basketball games in the history of college basketball, and neither team grabbed an offensive rebound, and we lost at home. I actually apologized to everybody that came for wasting their money on that game, but so I've seen it, but to do that to them is pretty impressive because of, that's a big physical A-10 team. And you look out there, Brown's a monster, Fuchs is a monster, Traore, Green, those are big physical guys. I'll say this, though, I do think our rebounding has been trending in a positive direction before today. We were +8, I think, against George Mason, who's a really big physical team. We out-rebounded Loyola, and then today, so that's 3 straight games, and Loyola only got 5 offensive rebounds against us. We out-rebounded, like I said, George Mason, we're +8, +4, +13 today. We'd moved up to, before today, 6th in the league in defensive rebounding percentage. That'll obviously take a big spike. But that's a category you want to be number 1 in the league in. Because to me, we've talked about, that's a controllable thing. Your defensive rebounding percentage is controllable. It's about physicality. It's about commitment. It's about guys really creating. And we did a great job on loose balls today. We were really, I thought there was a bunch of rebounds that bounced out. And we looked quick to the basketball today, which was great to see. We got a ton of 50-50 balls, bounce out. Swope made a couple really good ones. Amari Gibb got his hands on a few out there. That's super impressive in general, but probably doubly impressive just because Rhode Island's a pretty big, and they're a good. They're not a great, but they're certainly an average to above average offensive rebounding team.
Everything okay with Kalu?
Yeah, everything was fine with Kalu. I just went with the guys that I thought gave us the best chance to win. But nothing, in terms of he's not injured or anything like that. He's fine physically. I just went with the guys I thought, gave us best chance to win, and I thought the other guys gave us a better chance today to win than he did.
I don't know if you track this or not, someone does somewhere, but in transition, you guys struggle to convert sometimes on 2-on-1, 3-on-2s. I mean, and first half tonight was,
Yeah.
do you know anything about numbers on that, and what do you think contributes to that? Is it lack of, not having guys like Kellen athletically out there to finish, or?
I think there's a variety of things. We've worked on it. We haven't done it, here recently because you don't want to risk injuries doing, disadvantaged transition and guys, early in the year, lack of athleticism hurts. Lack of playmaking hurts. Guys being able to, kind of read what the right play is. I mean, sometimes we throw the wrong pass, Swope at a layup and throws one to Max. Max drops the pass. I mean, it was bad all the way around. Swope should have laid it in. Max should have caught the ball, but we didn't. In the first half, I think we missed 6 or 7 layups at the rim. We went to halftime, and it was like, man, we convert these. We're up, 15 at halftime instead of 6, or 20 instead of 6. I think there's a variety of things. I think the athleticism piece, plays a role in. Ultimately, though, you just got to keep working on it. You got to convert those advantage plays, like a game like tonight. If we do that, you could put that game not out of reach, but you're up, 15 to 20 and a half. It's a big difference in 6, and those are plays we got to make. And so we've got to look at it and figure out ways here in the next little bit to get better at it. But I agree that's an area that. A lot of times it's wrong decisions, maybe passing the ball to the wrong guy or not making the right play, and then other times it's just not athletic enough to convert the play. But I will, on the positive side, I thought our transition offense, like the pushing, the EPAs, Kobe punching gaps, I thought we generated a lot of good stuff out of transition. It just mostly wound up in threes, not in. Yeah. We missed a lot of layups, and I thought a lot of our threes came out of transition.
So the other day was saying you see things, you go too fast.
Yeah.
Because the guys get ahead of themselves, and that's a big thing on the turnovers.
Yeah, I think, our turnovers generally come from, everybody's different. Robbie usually is not being strong enough with the ball. Swope is usually trying to make some unbelievable, the pass, try to throw no look diagonal today when there's a guy, that stuff, that's just mind numbing. But yes, there's a part of it where being able to get off the ball on time, when we talk about Rhode Island, they help super low in their gaps. So when you drive the ball, they really squeeze the drive. And if you just keep going, they're going to take your ball. You got to get off the ball on time and make the play for your teammate. It's not spectacular, but it's what they force you to do. And I think, being able to stop, make better rim decisions, all those things in terms of turnovers. But I thought, in the first half, we started off, we were really good. We had 0 in the first 6 or 7 minutes, I think. And then we had 7, and they just absolutely piled up. And then the second half, we only had 2 until the last minute when we subbed. So I thought we did a good job of taking care of it. And Swope, to his credit, he had 3 early. I sat him for a little while. I didn't turn over again, and he got off the ball on time to Rob. He has a tendency sometimes to hold the ball too long. He had a couple possessions first half where I fell asleep, he was dribbling, and I woke back up, and it's still the same possession. And I didn't know why we were just dribbling, and I didn't know what was going on. So, we did that. Didn't do that in the second half, which was positive to see. And usually when he doesn't do that, and he just hits singles, he actually takes really good care of the ball.
So you guys are back at a tie for 4th, and you have another, though, quick turnaround to get to Davidson
on Sunday. Yeah, we leave tomorrow night, and come in, watch film tomorrow, recovery. We won't practice, we'll just do all the film work, really unpack this game, look at Davidson personnel, walk through the game plan, head to the airport, fly out, and, get there tomorrow night, and then And really, Monday will be a big time practice day. But it's every game down the stretch is big. I mean, for us to do what we want to do, we've got to do it together. That's what we talked about. It's easy to say, hard to do. But basketball is truly, to me, the most, the sport that's most interdependent on each other. With 5 guys out there, I mean, you're everybody plays offense, everybody plays defense. It's truly connected, and I think there's, and today was hopefully a start, but I think there's a level or two we can get to that we haven't got. We're not at our ceiling yet, and the whole is not greater than the individual parts yet, and that's where teams become special when you have talent, but the whole is greater than the individual parts. And today was a good step forward, but we still got to go, and it'll be a great road test Tuesday night against a terrific Davidson team, and then again, quick turnaround right back for Loyola again. So it'll be here before we know.
You've had a lot of games where it seems like the scouting reports working out in the first half, the scores and what you like it to be because the shots aren't falling. Has the conversation you have with the team changed over the year, over the season? Stick with the scouting report. Is it an easier conversation? Has it changed at all?
Yeah, the guys are usually pretty good about what we want to do. They can they understand. They do a good job of going out and applying the information we're giving them. I mean, for us to be good defensively, without elite shot blocking or elite athleticism, it requires us to be elite with our detail, elite with our execution, elite with how we want to guard stuff, how we want to guard ball screens, how we want to double the post, how we want to, whatever it is we're doing. And they have a lot that they have to do. But I think guys have been pretty good about, hey, even George Mason, obviously we talked about the game plan kind of blew up on me. That was on scouting report, a lot of those threes. Nobody came back the next day and damn, that was dumb. You did that. I mean, they try to stick with what we're asking them to do, and coming the game, we're leading the league in field goal offense, field goal defense, and they're doing that because of how cerebral they are, and they're able to go out and, like I said, without elite athleticism, without elite shot blocking, they're able to kind of take the piece of the game plan, understand how we want to do stuff, and it does help. We've got 2 guys in Kobe and Isaiah that can really, really slide and guard, are terrific in ball screen coverage. The play Kobe made today at the block. And again, I told him the job they did on Thomas. Thomas had 5 points, 8 assists first half. Second half, he has 3 points, 1 assist. That's a guy averaging basically 20 and 6. And they just second half just absolutely negated him. We had 1 breakdown through the lob to Brown, but we did a really good job in our pick and roll coverage across the board. Rob had some really good vertical contests. People get on him defensively, but he does a great job protecting, not only shot blocking, but he puts his chest in there. He gets great vertical contests and forced 4 or 5 key misses for them. All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.